Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the 347th Knowledge Seekers Workshop for Thursday, September 24th, 2020. This is a broadcast of the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute Education Department and part of the Public Teachings in English. My name is Rick Crammond. I'll be a host today. And of course, we're joined with Mr. Mehran Keshe of the Keshe Foundation. I can hear him in the background, ready to go. So I think without further ado, let's hear Mr. Keshe. Hello, Mr. Keshe, are you there?
Yes, good morning, good day to you, good afternoon. As usual, wherever and whenever you listen to this series of Knowledge Seekers. We apologize today. We had to move the teaching by a few hours because of other commitments which were supposed to happen and it didn't happen. But in a way, it's good to have some changes. If you remember, originally we started the teaching some 4 o'clock in the morning and then 5 and we built it to 9. And it's good to have a change sometimes for those who have a different time zone. Today's teaching is not what we wanted to do, but due to circumstances, we go back onto a normal, usual pattern as before. As we promised you, we would have held a presentation live from the exhibition center, but we were told yesterday afternoon that there are examinations for medical doctors in the building and nobody can be in the building as their examination. So we had to change everything to as it is now, and then hopefully next week we might have a live presentation from the center. We thank those knowledge seekers who traveled from different countries to be with us today in the live teaching, and it could not happen. And hopefully next week will be different and we carry on the same. As we said, we had the privilege of being offered that the exhibition center in Linz become a permanent place for next 12 months, accepted by the authorities of the who own the building to be a permanent feature in Linz for next 12 months, which means the technology has been accepted to run and for public to gradually come in and see and understand. This is a privilege for us, that's that we start showing the technologies in a massive way. We thank all of those of you who are writing so many nice emails and communications to the center, claiming everything you can. And as the heads of the center and the officials of the local government says, the technology is a breakthrough and now they understand how much people are trying to stop this technology to reach the population. And they do not listen to these standards. There is another point that on Thursday teaching of one nation, one planet, one race, we opened the hand of one of the knowledge seekers who was setting up to take over the Keshe Foundation as the queen of the Keshe Foundation, and they did not know that we knew. And in that process, we explained how I was supposed to be told I'm mentally demented and for her to take over and then hand it over to the satanic groups she's working with. And once they realized that we knew and they walked into their own setup, we have seen flurry of texts which she's been sending out to all over the world to everyone. We have kept these evidences and it's been handed over to the lawyers for criminal investigation and criminal offense, possible prison sentence. The extent of the allegations are so deep that it damages not only me, but the foundation, and we take an action on behalf of the foundation primarily. One of the reasons that you have to understand why she's taking this action is that they realized they could not get the hold of Keshe Foundation, and she made a claim for 40 million euro from the foundation for her private services to the number of the Keshe Foundation's knowledge seekers. We have put this into the court, and she's claiming that all of our work we've done is hers as usual, she done before, and she's expecting a 40 million euro from Keshe Foundation to be paid to her for her personal services. And this has to be, and is on the table, received by our lawyers, and now you understand why she's angry sending all this. All the work we did as knowledge seekers is hers, and she wants to be paid 40 million for. So collectively, us as knowledge seekers have to collect around about 25 cents to 50 cents to pay for professional services of her. That is more or less, as we said, the claim on the whole private services is on the knowledge seekers to understand. So now you understand why you start receiving such a massive amount of thing is all lies, cheats, deception, and now a claim for 40 million from all of us that she can have. So they say professionals, prostitutes, and priests know exactly where to go for the money. And one covers all of it. In this essence, we thank you all for sending all the communications you're receiving to us, and these are all adding to the criminal case, which is building up within what we call a structure. And please understand, whatever you read is exactly what somebody who was planning to be the head of Keshe Foundation after putting me and some other members of the Keshe Foundation Mental Institute to be handed over to those who were planning to shut the Keshe Foundation down. Now you understand the extent of how much we were infiltrated directly. And in so many ways, I thank you for contacting us and sending all these lies and deceptions which has been put on the internet. And in due course, as we have started a criminal case against, to be heard in the courts. This is the way I run my life. Everything on the table the way it is and the way we all understand. I share my knowledge, I share my life with the foundation. And the reason we have held back, because the price of 40 million is on the life of my son. My son has not been seen for 3 months, hidden. And if I don't pay the 40 million on behalf of the Keshe Foundation, I might not never see my son. And now you understand. Ransom by those who are professionals. And in so many ways, with different excuses, we all pay for our what we believed in and what we served. I do not go any further, but it's exactly 3 months I don't know where my son is. I don't know if he's alive or he's been, through her profession, been passed on somewhere else. And I hope you all understand, and we keep this matter away from public till the courts in the land decide, and then we let you know. I pray for the soul of my son. It's not easy. This is what the Belgians are. The priests, the professionals, the prostitutes, and the rest. And we've seen how exactly the same method as was used by Dirk has been used to cover the internet. The same lies, the same way. And I hope, my wish is that as knowledge seekers, we stay solid and loyal to what we are doing to change the course of humanity. The teaching of today is very deep, and it goes and touches many ways in the deepest space travel. I would like to thank Jalal and the group which came from London and the others who came to be in the live presentation today. And in due course, hopefully we hold a session and that all the knowledge seekers could be present. In so many ways, the knowledge has reached its pinnacle. In the coming days, as we announced in the teaching on Tuesday, we just re-emphasize for those of you who don't go to the Tuesday teaching, one nation, one planet, one race, is that The Keshe Foundation, as of this week, has placed an order for the third enhancement unit to be added to the two you have seen. The new enhancement unit will most probably be able to demonstrate or show its structure before the end of the teaching is the new flight system. That's what you most probably call the UFOs. This unit will be added to the collection on the platform of the enhancement unit in the coming months, and it's been made to be a 5-passenger flight system. In a way, it has the capability to fly and position itself. It carries all the things necessary as is in other two for feeding and creation. It will be a new transportation system. We estimate, as we said, the flight from Linz or Vienna to cities like New York and, let's say, Beijing in less than 10 minutes. This technology will be demonstrated in public, and as we added the two enhancement units, this unit will take its place in the center of the two. This will be the evolution in the space technology and transportation. You can adopt it to be used as a taxi, you can adopt it to be used as a bus, you can adopt it to be used as transportation between different parts of this planet as we become one nation. I have asked our manufacturing team in China to deliver to us before end of today, as we did with you originally, with the enhancement units, the schematics, and then we saw the final versions in Linz of the new flight system. The new flight system takes us into a new dimension, brings us to the point that mankind will be able to reach any point on this planet, irrespective of time and position and place. And at the same time, we will see that this technology will be delivered in total to the whole of humanity in one go. In a way, as I said, we are getting ready for what we call 21st of October line, that we switch over into what we call delivery of the technologies in a rapid way across this planet. In a way, preparing everything for the final date of 21st of March 21. In so many ways, as we have said, we have prepared everything for us to be able to be there to deliver the technology in a comprehensive way that pushes mankind to new frontiers of peace, love, and being there to be able to live a peaceful life, not only on this planet, but across the universe. In so many ways, I'm fulfilling what I promised, and within the time frame which I promised. It is the responsibility of knowledge seekers to disperse the knowledge and the technology across the world. When we showed the two enhancement units has created a vibrant, positive move across the scientific world, because by looking at it, even when you look at the enhancement on its own, for the first time, man sees the opportunity to be able to share the knowledge in a comprehensive way. In so many ways, we have learned how to conduct, how to be able to reach a position. And in so many ways, we need to extend our knowledge. We need to understand the extent of our work in understanding the totality. Rick, could you please allow me to share on both screens, please? When you look at it, is what is the first time in front of us. When we see the totality of the knowledge, and we see how we can share so simply the knowledge then we can see what we inspire. The whole work of the Keshe Foundation and my teaching has been to inspire man to look in the new ways, not to copy the old ways or what we do. Rick, I still don't get access to my screen share.
I think I have to change one of the settings here.
On both channels, I don't access. Yes, it's okay. I've got it.
Okay.
As I said, the whole history of this technology is to inspire new understanding, is to bring us to understand a new way. In so many ways, when we share a picture like this, it gives us a new dimension. For the first time, we see the sun. We understand the position of we can create not only material, but we can create a condition of replication of the different work of the universe. The system as the sun in the center, and then you see a different system in the background. We can create a condition of the earth. We can create another reactor condition of the moon. We can cluster them and see their behavior. We can bring them in a way to create fields that allows us to understand the fields that we encounter in the universe. Change the center, gravitational magnetic fields, to the center of a galaxy, and each system become one solar system. Change the system in the center as the structure of a center of universe, and we can study, we can understand, we can position systems now. How and what we see. Our scientist tells us such a star in such a place has such a mixture of material. Now we create the condition of center of galaxy or center of the universe and position that field strength in that position in the system. Then we see what it produces, how life could be. Can we sustain life in the present condition, or we have to make adaptation to the system? Now you understand that this system is not just for material making. The scientists of the coming time, they use for the first time as they've seen it and they understand it to open new dimensions in the world of science and technology. In so many ways, when we say universal material enhancement, in a way it materializes the work of the universe, not the matter state we look for to produce something. In so many ways, in the coming days, we will show the power of the technology. In a way, we show the understanding and the intellect of this technology. When you look at the man on the other side in the universal body enhancement, we take each organ as one satellite, as one structure, live interacting with the rest of the system. In the new understanding of the technology, you can put man, the beast, the man from the universe in this system, and all will benefit by it to what they need. Life is sweet when you understand the knowledge of the universe. This is my job, to inspire you, to extend. And the knowledge inspiration doesn't come by those who sit as knowledge seekers, comes from those scientists who listen and read and watch this, and then they add to their knowledge to it and create a new dimension. These technologies are new, so it takes time. These systems, according to European standard, have a CE certification and can be turned on at any location, anywhere in the world. In so many ways, we have created the replication of the universe and the body of the man. And in so many ways, we can test it anywhere be. I made a promise, and in the coming days, while we test, and if we achieve new dimensions in testing, we go live. Keep an eye on your Zooms all the time. If you get notification, means we have moved in new territory. It means we have developed or we've seen something that we want to share. This has been the ethos of my work, sharing knowledge, really independently. In the system that is now in position, ready for its demonstration, we have placed a number of lights, fluorescent tube lights, in different locations, which means at different height you have different locations, different fluorescent tubes that in interaction with the fields, if the fields of the plasma reaches the matter state electron vibration, these fluorescent tubes, some 6 of them around the reactors, will come on. Don't forget, this is the way Tesla showed us transformation of energy through plasma. Both systems have been set the same. And in the coming days, as we test and knowledge seekers come and go, they enjoy the beauty of the new technology. Don't forget, we all use and develop ganses in different ways. And when you come to this building, is the collection of ganses. We are there with the full knowledge that we know what this technology is. We come to inspire. There is one thing I want to tell you, my dear friends. Please, when you come to the center, as many of you have done in past days, I respect you and I appreciate your kindness. Do not bring gifts to us. Give the gift to someone else. By the nature of the position we are in, we do not accept gifts for security reasons. I saw many people bringing gifts, from dates to Maghreb systems to others. I thank you for it. But you have to understand, for security reasons, we cannot accept. Bring your love, bring your knowledge, and learn to share your soul. And in so many ways, I try to be in the center at least once a day, that people who are there, we can meet, we can say hello and be present in soul and in body. Try to understand that we are demonstrating a technology which is certified and used across this world in different shape and forms by knowledge seekers and by Keshe Foundation. As we have seen, no hazards and no danger, and we have seen the presence of this technology when it comes to the space level has brought peace to us. We saw it in Middle East, we saw it in Black Sea. We have seen the demolishing of the powers of those who were superpowers by simple technology. We expect this technology will bring us more. In the coming days and weeks, we will demonstrate in different shape and forms, and as we achieve, as has been the tradition by Keshe Foundation, we go live instantaneously. For you to be with us, for you to learn from us and add to it, for you to be able to share the knowledge. And as I said, we have to be there to inspire the new generation, the young, that they take the technology to the love of it to the next generation. Keep an eye on all the what I call your Zooms, and as I said, my knowledge is free and I have given it freely up to now. What we do is we teach. How we use it, it depends on our intellect and it depends on our ethos. In so many ways, mankind has to learn a new way, and we are literally laying it in front of you for you to learn, to develop and to show. In so many ways, we do not know where mankind will go. with this. We see an outcome, a beautiful outcome. With this technology, you cannot harm. With this technology, you cannot destroy. With this technology, you cannot go out of your way to disturb or distract. It's a collective, inclusive technology. And in so many ways, we do not know how we will react to many of it. It's 7 billion of us. Each one of us will react different to it according to the expectation and knowledge we have. One of the most important things for me to teach in the next few weeks, and by demonstration of the unit in the working condition, does not matter what happens. You have by now must have learned about the way I work. I'm not afraid of failure, because the failure shows we haven't learned something and we have to learn. In the test we do, the success, the no success, or what we don't see does not measure where the technology is how the systems have been set. One of the first things we'll try to do is to create a condition of lift and motion. We know we will have interference in different dimensions, and as these are the natural plasmatic fields, they are the same fields as we see from the sun every day passing through us. These are the fields that we absorb from cosmos every day through us. There is no side effect. If it was, we would have had it from the sun. We would have had it from all the cosmic rays from the time of our birth. So those of you who will be scaremongering, we tell you one thing: you have not understood the technology. Plasma technology is the way our body is built. GaN's technology is the structure of our body. And we have seen many people trying to scare other people with all the things they write. We've been using it for years. There is a matter which has been raised that I received a problem with my liver since I came here on. I received problems in my liver when I was poisoned by Dirk. Nothing to do with the technology. And this has to be understood. And it only started when I was given poison by the hand of Dirk. So when they start the scaremongering, you will see a lot of things. And be safe. This technology stands on its own merit and has been around for 15, 20 years. We have not seen any dead bodies. We have not seen anybody going anywhere, except saving people's lives. Be aware that as we now start opening the technology this way, pharmaceuticals, financial organizations, mining organizations, computer organizations, all see themselves in danger. But my message to them is one thing: collectively work and you see the benefits of it. And it's not endangering anything, but it pushes you to develop new technologies, new understanding. In the process of the teaching of today, I would love to teach you something, what we call in the universal community as the line of connection. For man to create that line of connection has taken thousands and millions of years. But you have not managed to reach it. What does that mean? You need that line of connection to connect the fields of your soul to the soul of physicality. You do not know how to reach it. You need to understand the connection between the fields of the plasma and not with the interaction of the matter of the plasma. You have to move, as I always said, look at the fields and not the matter. In this process, it's vital for those who follow this path to understand that if you can interact and live within these fields, you can travel the span of universe to the structure of the fields of the universe. No need for burning fuel. No need for doing anything but thoughts. If you can connect the dimension of your thoughts through your soul to this reactor in the middle, and your wish is copper so much in this shape, it will be produced. You know this knowledge. We call it the knowledge of love. We know this because it's one of the only ways which the soul of physicality and the soul of the man have connection. You feel your love, you reach your love. You feel its pain, you feel its need, you feel it's whatever is. And instantaneously you know. You love your son, you think about it and he calls. You think about your lover and the mention in the soul brings the touch of the screen in physicality. This is where we try to connect. This is where mankind has to be. If you understood in so many languages from the beginning of the teaching, we have called it magrab, magnetic and gravitational. If you understand the field strength in giving in the direction of what you need, you will receive it in the other way back. In so many ways, the knowledge is complete. You have to filter it. You have to understand it, that how it applies to all of you. You have to be clear about how things go to be. You have to be able to link up with the emotion of the soul that reaches the emotion of physicality, that in a physical dimension it manifests itself, or vice versa. In so many ways, mankind has to learn to listen, to feel the vibration of the fields of the soul of the man of his own. Many people say, I have no connection with my soul. I don't see. It's just you are the only one who sees. Because by doing this, I stop acknowledging the existence of my soul. And in so many ways, I choose the material and matter state. The soul of the man has no tangible physicality, but manifests itself in the emotion of the man. This is where mankind needs to strengthen its field. And this is where gradually, as I've taught many, many times over years, be able through the soul of the man to manifest whatever he needs in the palm of the man. Soul of the man and the soul of physicality in a wish and emotion can create what the man needs at any position. Frog on the shoulder, metal in the hand, and the shoes on the foot. When you travel the depth of the space, and if you have a physical dimension of the foot, and you travel and walk in the acid dimension, there is no shoes to go back to on earth to buy to bring it. The emotion of the soul and the emotion of the physicality create that what you call shoes. It creates that gold in your hand. The love of giving by both leads to creation of what it is. Mankind has to learn in a simple way, in a very simple way. The love of a man and a woman leads to creation of a child. The love of the soul of physicality and the soul of the man leads to what man wants to be created. This is where the knowledge of the man is not completed. Man does not need computers, man does not need a car. In a wish of understanding of totality, he can have both, with the full support of soul and physicality. This is what in the coming time, especially with the enhancement unit, I will be teaching. In so many ways, mankind has to learn to communicate between different parts of his existence, that he can support life anywhere in the universe, both in the dimension of physicality or energy, plasma condition, what we call the soul. In so many ways, if you look, this ball in the screen is the soul of the man. And all these bolt systems around in a specific way set create the emotion of the creation and perfection. With these technologies, we are not here to demonstrate the flight. We are not here to demonstrate creation of material. We are here to enlighten the soul of the man to know how his physical condition can collaborate and work to lead to the creation of what he needs. Does not mean that all men will understand this. Does not mean that everyone who sees this technology as it is will grasp the idea of it. But those who get enlightened will reach the new condition of living independently anywhere in the universe. In so many ways, we all know there is a car, and we all know needs a driver, and we all go to the school to learn how to drive. The prime purpose of enhancement body unit is to teach you how to drive, how to control, and how to bring the physicality of the body of the man through the emotion and the soul of the man to his destination, to the point of his pleasure and joy and living. In a way, the production of the new enhancement system is for the man to see the connection between the soul and the soul of physicality. In so many ways, mankind has to mature to understand, to comprehend. And in so many ways, mankind needs to understand. We put you in the car and we let you to drive, and in a way, drive from the soul into the dimension of physicality and gradually learn. Learn how to connect with your soul. Learn how to be able to make the systems within the structure of your own being that you can survive the span of the universe. All these teachings are for man to be able to survive in the space. Keshe Foundation is a space organization. We are not here to do other things, but at the same time, we have the right to have some fun by learning, by teaching, by sharing knowledge the way we do. Would we in a coming time be able to mature man to the point of understanding the connection between the soul and physicality of the man while we live in the dimension of the man is a different story. Is what I call the fire of love for the man so deep that he will allow the technology to become part of his existence. We need to be able to do what we want to do. We need to be able to share in so many ways the knowledge, but at the same time we have to be flexible to accept the new understanding. Mainly, is acceptance is within the structure of the man and no one else. The time of change comes through the understanding of the change. To be able to live and understand how the fields interact with us. We are in the center of what we call the lights of the universe, the fields of the universe. And the knowledge is understanding how to utilize it, be it from the soul of the man, be it from different dimensions of understanding of the motion of the fields. What do we understand from these interactions? What do we understand? What to expect from these interactions? Do we still need systems to travel? Or can we travel within the depth of the universe through the dimension of the fields of the body of the man? Do we allow the soul of the man to be engaged within the physicality of the man, or do we allow the soul to take over the physicality and protect it? Rick, would you please show the video which we have from our friends in Brazil, which you showed on the Tuesday?
Okay, just a minute.
Thank you very much. It's important for all of us to realize and visually see what the knowledge is coming. Now, step by step, gradually, knowledge seekers can visualize, can understand, can see. The knowledge seekers are gradually trying and are visualizing what should be. And interesting, the knowledge seekers gradually move to the dimension of understanding the totality. And it's for us to be able to see it, that we can visualize it, then we can make connection with it. Have you managed to set it up yet, Rick?
Yes, we just have it here now.
That's perfect. Thank you very much. This is the brain of the man. And just have a look. Now we know where the soul is. We have envisaged and understood. Now we understand. It's within us. It's within our existence, where we never knew. But now with the new technology that we can elevate it, the brain is still there, but now become part of the physicality and receives the protection. This is what man has been afraid of, to lose the physicality. But in fact, is more protected than before. No disease, no viruses, nothing can reach it. We engage it. Now we're learning how to use it to protect us. Limitless time and life. The biggest fear of the man has been, what happened if I let the soul goes, and would it lead to my demise? Because when it leaves, is that the end? It's time to understand how we can create the fields within the body of the man, and through it to enhance the power of the soul of the man that he can protect. We do that by loving someone. Now we need to do the same by loving our soul. We share it, we understand it, and we comprehensively need to work towards amalgamating the two. And part of these teachings are this. Most of the teachings are this, that how we can bring the two to live inside each other, and depending on the position and the time and the wish of either one to manifest themselves as a soul or as a physicality. We have seen the physicality has many weaknesses, and in so many ways we cannot stop. But would the presence of the soul of the man will give the man that edge. It is a beautiful demonstration of what man shall see, to become the light, to become the source of life. And in so many ways, once we understand this, mankind will move to a new dimension. The fear of demise will not be there. The fear of would I be able to create myself will not exist. Mankind will become in the position of his own life and his existence. Man becomes the soul. And if you understand this, would we lead to the new dimension? Would we go to understanding the totality of it? And would we take a future in our hand? Then we decide where we manifest ourselves in the galaxies and the stars. This is the new knowledge for man to hold his destiny, not on this planet, but in the universe, but with the hand of the soul, and when he need be, with the hand of physicality. The teaching in depth is to understand the future of mankind is in the palm of his hand. We need to understand, we need to be able to become the satellites of the universe, independent of time and position. In so many ways, we become the sun. In so many ways, we are teaching you how to take charge and become scintillating lights in the universe. You choose, you travel by the soul or through the dimension of the lights as UFOs and the rest. In so many ways, we have made everything possible for you to grasp, to understand you are one of these lights in the universe. You can decide the position of it by termination of the physicality, or you can decide to elevate your soul to have the physicality within you to manifest in any other position in the universe. As I said, when you look into the depth of the universe, is nothing but covered with the shining lights, which is from the soul of the creation of the planet, or the soul of those who have become the seed of the new cycle. The understanding of the technology has to be in totality. The understanding of the technology has to be to understand the effect of rays, and in so many ways to be part of it, to understand the interaction of it, and with it to be the what we call one thing. Wherever you are in the universe, you become the messenger of peace and friendship. Be it in the dimension of physicality or be it in the dimension of the soul. The bird is the physicality and the light is the soul. Both carries the same message. Until mankind does not reach that level, mankind will not leave this planet. In so many ways, we have to learn one thing: how to share the knowledge, and the rest will come by itself. The rest will appear in the new dimensions and the new ways. And in so many ways, would we become part of it by choice? That's another path. What we share is understanding that the knowledge has to be shared freely. Now that we have built the new systems and we can show you, you can follow, you can understand, you can enhance your knowledge through the knowledge of the universe. In the coming months, as we reach towards our goal of 21st of March 21, we'll start teaching you how to tap into the universal knowledge, using your soul, using your understanding, and understanding that in the presence of time, mankind needs to be evolving in one direction, and that becomes free from detaching itself from attachment to many things. Even in detachment, we get attached. And this is where most of the problem with humanity has sat. And that's where the abuse has been. And in so many ways, when you look at different lights and rays, that should give you the full indication of how we understand the totality.
Mr. Keshe, would you like a break for a few minutes, perhaps? Well, it was suggested by Coco in the YouTube that we take a few minutes of silence. So perhaps that's a good time to do that. Just to let people know who may have joined us that we're taking a few minutes of silence here and uh, in alignment with the current situation. And we have some comments from people in the Q&A, such as, Mr. Keshe, we hope that your son is returned to you safely. The pain is felt, and we dearly hope he is not harmed. From Antonio. From Maria, be embraced and thanked from the heart. Mehran Keshe, may you soon be able to welcome your son back to health, love, gratitude, and blessings. Maria. Others are saying, I pray for you and your family, Mr. Keshe. And some other similar comments in the YouTube. We are with you and support you with our souls. You will triumph. Mary Beth is sending much love and protection from evil forces. And so people are with you, Mr. Keshe. Light Life says, everyone send Mr. Keshe your love. And Mary Beth is so excited about the spacecraft aircraft coming out. So we have mixed emotions today.
Thank you very much. In so many ways, as a family, we stand a lot, but as a family, we take a lot. Unfortunately, we've seen what I call those who are among us pretending to be who really are and how we see them. And it's okay. Sooner or later, we'll achieve what we are targeting for. I will be there. Would you like to take a commercial break, Rick?
Yeah, sure, we can do that, Mr. Keshe.
Thank you very much.
Okay, we'll take a short break here and be back in a few minutes.
The process of understanding is very simple. The process is, as I explained last time, I explained more in detail. We are created out of the rays within the center of the universe. In interaction and reduction in strength and division by the strength in certain strength fields, in collection of the totality of the expansion of the universe, some energies, some dynamic fields have come together. Over billions of years, these fields lead to the creation of what we call the sun. Where the plasma gathers together. The same process repeats again because the sun is the same as the energy center of the universe. Now, the heavier, the larger amount of the energy which is collected in this span of the universe we call the sun that it radiates out does the same thing again. Radiates its fields out, and in interaction with the itself, with the fields of itself, leads to creation of planet. In that process of the creation of planet, the same process happens again. In the interaction of the fields of the earth with its environment and cooling and exchange with the strength of the other things in the environment of the space of the solar system leads to creation of man, cell, matter state. And that itself, in coming together and slowing down in certain ways, as we call, leads to another sun. We call the soul of the man. This is the truth about the life and creation of the man. But if the soul of the man can understand and absorb and be correct with his conduct, he can become the strength of the fields and carry the strength of the field of the planet which came to its creation. And if the soul can understand with the same process, can interact, can be correct, can absorb with itself the totality of the strength of what it needs, he shall become the sun. And then the same soul has the energy that it can absorb within the solar system, within the galaxy, shall become the center of the universe. This happens on earth, we call it the rain. Come from, goes back to. solar system, we call it planetary system. We come from the rays, we become the planet, and we go back to the mother. The same thing happens with the galaxies, with the solar systems, which they get absorbed back in and which we come back in. The life, the process of existence in the universe is the same. It doesn't matter what exchange and what extent. So, why do we fight for something which has come from the point of the creation, and in the process it goes back to the creation? The soul of the man, as the energy of the earth, gives the face of the man, the face of the earth, and that process is the same for the soul of the man. Our soul, in reduction in strength, in interaction with the emotion of the field of the environment, leads to manifestation of the existence of the man. But once it's completed, does it need the face? Or can it be and becomes free from it, what we call the soul of the man, be free and detached from its existence? Our soul is part of the process of the creation. The key to one question, who man shall be in the future, to be answered. As we saw, the sun became the earth, and as we saw, the earth became man's soul. What would be the destiny of the soul of the man now becomes free at the point of departure from physicality? Would it become the sun for creation of another life, or many lives, or correction of lives? This shall be, and this is how it happens. When you create a soul which is not correct, which is misconduct by itself, cannot give, you lead to the creation of the next cycle of creation, which has started the wrong way, the wrong strength. This is one thing the man has never understood. You become the creator of another universe, another cycle. And this is what you have to judge in the structure of the soul of the man. What would I like that cycle to be? In the physical life, we create children. In the dimension of the life of the soul of the man, what that man, what that soul would create. If man has thought up to now, that's it, my end, my point, when I die is finished, there's as much fallacy that when the sun is destroyed in any shape or form, there shall be nothing left. But we know the parts of the sun becomes part of the galaxy and becomes part of the new life. So shall be the soul of the man. The judgment of the man has to be according to what he sees the future his soul can conduct to be. The day of judgment is for the man, not in front of the Creator. That what my soul judges to be and what shall create. Man never understood and shall never understand till can solve this dilemma within itself. The reality is very, very, very real. And that is, as we see, the energy of the galaxy become the sun, the energy of the sun has become the earth, and the energy of the earth has become the soul of the man. So shall be the soul of the man, which is the energy itself, another cycle of life. How can you change when you don't understand? How can you change the process of understanding if you do not understand the process of the creation? Do we need to extend the understanding of the man that what is the future he brings? We care about our children, what education they get, what they wear, how happy they'll be, where they sleep. Now the man has to be careful and consider, what life shall my soul create? Because those are the children of your soul. As we see, the rays of the sun has become a planet and 7 billion children. 7 billion unlimited, which is growing. So the soul of the man will go through the same process. How many billions and subdivisions and sub-material state of the physicality of the man your soul shall create? Would it be the soul of wars and conflict and ever killing? Or would it be the soul of this, let's say, solar system which is peaceful? This is the truth and the reality of what is about. First of all, as I said many times recently, we never understood that the soul of the man is the destruction of the man. And now that we understood, we understand on departure from the physicality of the man, the same process will carry on as it did to a star and planet. And the soul of the man becomes the energy source, a higher order, which itself leads to the creation. It becomes the star, it becomes the center of a new cycle of creation. This is what the human race has to understand. The cycle actually starts at the point of death and not finishes at the point of death. In so many ways, if one understands, is as the dusts, specks of dust came together to make the earth in the solar system, so has the specks of the atoms has come to be the creator of man. And the essence of the creation of the specks of dust on the solar system has led to the creation of man. So shall be the fields from the soul of the man which lead to creation of another cycle of life. What kind of life man would like to have to be created by the soul? This is the day of judgment. This is what man never understood. Now you have to understand. You have no choice. Up to today you were not aware of it. From today you are aware of it. You are responsible for it. Your conduct has to be to elevate your soul. That in elevating the soul, what you become the creator of stands correct. Conduct is synthesis. We don't give fairy tale. This is the truth about it. As you've seen, the process does not stop with one cycle. The cycle carries on. It's very interesting in how humanity, now knowing the fact, will handle the fact. It'll take decades for man to understand, and then you understand those who become the tools of war, the tools of conflict. They have less, they have nothing to start with. They have to become the dust in the solar system of the others till the day they learn more, as they cannot create a new cycle through their own soul. This is the elevation of the soul of the man. To be part of the creation of a beautiful life for the next cycle. When you don't have it, you have to become another cell in the body of the structure of the figure for you to be just there that you can done when you would have been the soul of the man. They say, do not create fear. Like giving you the point of love for creation. If you cared about your children on this planet to have the best, your true children come out of your own soul in the coming time. How would you like to educate them? How would you like to be when you are in conflict with yourself and the cause of selfish mayhem? This is the truth, and the man will take a long time to understand, as now that we understand the soul of the man is an operator for the creation of the future extent of the life. Whatever is gathered by the soul at the end becomes its point of reference of its own creation of its own dimension. But the strangest thing is, what he creates from his soul shall become the creator of the other souls. This is the beauty of the creation, and if one understands it, understands no limitation. Thank you very much, Rick. What we do in the process of teaching is what we share knowledge and understanding. And in so many ways, we share knowledge freely to be able to evolve man to a new dimension, to new understanding, to new process of elevating the soul of the man at the same time as physicality of the man. One of the biggest problems in the coming time will come when the soul of the man has to protect the physicality. And in that process, would the physicality be able to stand what has done to the soul of the man? In so many ways, the transition between the two will bring a new dimensions of understanding between the both. What will happen in the coming time as we put and we go through this process is that as the soul transfers and expands beyond the physicality, in a way it feeds the physicality. It gives it all it needs in all dimensions. And would it be this a way to feed the man himself directly? In a way, by retraction and expansion of the soul on a regular basis, maybe every day, every time that is needed, man will repair himself. Man will clear what has been exposed to which is not good for him or what is needed to be done. One of the next steps of the technology development is this. This is what we are about to teach. In a way, in a space, we cannot carry as much as no medicine, no food, no material. We cannot keep on carrying machineries that can provide or systems that can provide such a thing. Mankind has to reach a point where he can with trust to extend one to another, which means allowing the soul of the man to take the shape of the physicality, but at the same time in that process do all repairs and all is needed, using the energy of the soul of the man. Or in so many ways, as the soul of the man expands beyond the boundary of the physical condition of the man, then mankind changes. As I said, in the coming time, in the near future, illnesses will be unknown as we handle them at the point of onset, be it cancer, be it infections, be it viruses. One of the most important part of this technology development is access to the fields of the universe. In the coming time, man has learned and has to learn how to tap into universal fields, how he can take from the universe what he needs, be it on this planet, in the open span of universe, on the star. Once man matures to understanding of the totality of work of his soul, any point in the universe can be his oyster, be it on the surface of a planet, be it in the depth of oceans of the materials which man has never known, or be it on the surface of the sun. As he can adapt his soul to the condition of physicality and become part of it. Many of us in past times have seen a ball of lights flying within, around, and maybe in distance. In a way, mankind has got to reach this point to become a ball of light. And this is where we try to take the education and understanding. This is where we try to bring the totality of what it is and how it can be. And would it be in the benefit of mankind to go through this adoption so fast? Do we need, or have we passed the point that we need to understand the totality? Transmutation of elements is a dimension of physicality. Transmutation between the energy and the elements, and from elements back to energy, is the key to the life of the man in the depth of the space. One of the reasons we developed the enhancement units is to create this condition for those souls who have been elevated to the point of understanding and being able not to go through the transmutation of the elements, but to go through the transmutation of the fields into elements and back to. The technologies which we'll teach in upcoming months will teach mankind this. In so many ways, how would mankind live this cycle will be utterly and totally dependent on his total understanding of his existence. Where and how and in what dimension. In so many ways, what we need to understand is to what extent humanity will come to understand the structure of itself. And would humanity take a new step to understand more about himself in the depth of the universe? In a coming time, we will teach how to become a ball of light in the depth of the universe. To become intangible, but to be seen to be tangible. In time, mankind will take steps, and we teach you through the enhancement units how humanity needs to understand the work of its soul. We take new steps, and with it, we reach new dimensions. And in so many ways, we need to understand the totality, how we can heal. Heal the sick body of the man. Does our soul take this step, or would our soul understand the totality of the science and technology of the universe? It'll be a dilemma for human race. And in understanding the totality of it will be part of the work of what we'll teach. As I said, we have taught many theories. We have brought you to the point of understanding. And now, with the availability of the universal systems, we make man a man of space. In so many ways, the shape of the new enhancement unit for space, if you thoroughly understood it, is nothing but what we see as we were teaching before, a ray with a particle in between. This is what we taught last week about rays, photons, and particles as we see the light. In a way, if you understand, man with a new enhancement unit for space will have the possibility to travel the span of the horizons of the sun. But this time the sun is the son of the creator, not the son of the man on this, what we call solar system. The reason the shape of this system has chosen this way is the evolution in science. This is where I explained in the teaching last week that we take the soul of the man within the light. And in so many ways, when this system adopted the way we have, the shape of it shows advancement in the science and technology of the universe, where now the man can be carried within the soul of the light. If you understand, if you could fully understand what is explained and what is said, is, as I said, we bring you the latest technologies available to man. To travel with a shape like this takes a lot of energy. To travel with a shape like this, as you have your enhancement unit, is a massive development in the space technology, where the new system can travel with the speed of light, but be a particle of the light. This is what I explained in the teachings. Now, in the book 1, we understood the structure. In book 2 is the structure of the light. It's the way the man will travel from now on. Even this, in the history of the science of the space technology, is obsolete. In a way, when the man travels in this dimension, he becomes the light, and he becomes the soul of the light. In so many ways, the new enhancement unit for space technology will carry the soul of the man within its structure, within its parameters. And then man can travel in the speed of light according to the understanding of the soul of what we call the captain. And in so many ways, we will see new structure. If you look, what we have as an enhancement system is a flying object, which the man who sits in it become the soul of it, become the particle light instead of a photon light. This is what I explained. We go from book 2 to book 3. And now the system to be delivered, an even system enhancement unit, the body enhancement unit, has been set for that purpose, to become the particle of light. But this time the light, the speed of light, it depends on the strength of the soul of the captain. He or she decides what it sees in the horizon of the light of his soul. In a way, we look into space to see the sun, to see the rays. And in so many ways, when you are the sun yourself, you sit within and you become as is, not as part of. In so many ways, today's teaching, when I started, is understanding that in the center is the particle, the system, the way we will travel in depth of the universe. As I mentioned in the teaching of the past, we bring the technology that not even existed in the universe and is a new breakthrough for universal community. In so many ways, the new enhancement unit as a flight system is a massive breakthrough in the world of science of space. If you look at the structure, it's very much the same as before, but it developed in the structure that if you look at the old, what we call the UFOs, you will see the bracket of the light and balance of the controls. In the new enhancement unit, this has been converted totally in a way that suppresses it into two lines internally. When I designed the spaceship, the enhancement unit as a spaceship, the whole thing was taken in and stopped being out. This is a massive development in the space technology beyond imagination. But if man understands his power, in a way, we have turned this into this internally. We don't look outwards, we look inwards, and this gives us a massive strength, and at the same time, in connection with the soul of the operator, it becomes the motion and the notion of what he or she wants to do. The new enhancement flight system will break through new technologies. We bring in the totality of the understanding of all aspects of the creation, even to the level of the soul of the creator. As the creator travels in both dimensions, both as a photon and as a particle. The new enhancement unit, which has been developed, and you have one on the table in the arena of the exhibition, is one of the most advanced flight systems ever known in the universe. We always worked with the interaction of the fields of other positions in the universe. Now, for the first time, we work within the structure, the soul of the universe. In a way, we took the ship and turned it inside out. And it's much more efficient, it's much more reliable, and it can reach across different universes much better, safer, and in totality. When we designed the enhancement unit, was a way to cover the eye of the man from the total reality of his creation till it could be unraveled and revealed. And today we have shown you. And if there was no exams in this, today you would have witnessed one of the most advanced flight systems in the universe. The two units are ready for not only demonstration, but delivery of the technology and the change for the course of humanity. It's the time when we take possession of the peace. This is the time where we take to force mankind to peace. Maybe tomorrow, and maybe Monday, we'll open the Zoom, if the system allows, and we demonstrate live. Nothing has stopped me to show technology, even if it fails or if it doesn't work. But gradually, the way we did before in the Sensano, when you used to be with us, Keshe Foundation is so confident in its technology that it can demonstrate with no fear. We will turn on both systems tomorrow morning and come with us and celebrate with us in a new breakthrough. We try and will keep the control system out of the sites, but we'll let you see what effects might be. But in true, the enhancement, body enhancement, is one of the most advanced flight systems ever known in the universe. The UFOs you've seen are obsolete by thousands of years. The new system not only elevates the soul of the man, but uses that elevation to control the destiny. And in so many ways, is the creation of new cycle of technologies which is unknown. But at the same time is new to the whole of creation. Unknown, but effective to bring changes for any race in the universe. As we test, we all shall see, and we all shall learn. At the same time, we wait for the turn of the head of the Keshe Foundation to be able to operate in full as she carries the soul of the system within. And in that process, we develop new technologies and will release more new technologies. In so many ways, we are ready to take man into space. But the biggest question is man ready to become part of the space? The change in technology with a simple structure of the new system will bring a new dimension in every aspect. In the teaching of last week, somebody asked, what do we do with all the pollution? I tell you one thing, with a new technology, what do you do with a new construction? How do we build a new society that uses the new understanding and not the old? The new ethos and not the old. In so many ways, if man likes to create new structures, man just needs to fly one about and the structures will stack up. My wish is my command. The new enhancement unit will carry man into space, in the deep space and to other universes that man has nowhere not to go to, but man has everywhere to go to. With transformation of the soul of the man with the physicality, man will live everlasting life as he lives through the dimension of the light. But there is still a pleasure in the dimension of physicality wherever he resides. The new space technology which we open in Lens and we demonstrate will bring in a new dimension into space and space travel for human race. There will be some shaking and shackling, but at the end, man will take off. All systems produce fields at the level of the creation, if the soul of the man to be, or the physicality of the man to be. The new, what we call photon and particle system, as you've seen in the enhancement unit, will create the same condition for the soul of the man and the physicality of the man. Where man decides to become physical, will go into the dimension of particle. And when man decides to work in the dimension of the soul, it goes in photon. Now you understand why I opened the discussion last week with the system on the floor. Man has capability to do both. As we said, we have built the system. Now we are going to test the systems. As the knowledge seeker writes, we are not such a bad race. We can love and care for everyone in the universe. But we have to see if the totality of the man will take that course. If the totality of human race accept the new conditions. The new enhancement system is where we start showing the reality about the space travel. And as of tomorrow, whenever we get a chance, we bring you online. We won't tell you what happened, we show you what is happening. And at the same time, I hope those of you who are in the center will enjoy the beauty of what you will see, or what you feel, as majority of it is in the essence of space and time and strength of the emotion and the soul of the man. Are there any questions?
Thank you, Mr. Keshe. As always, I remind the attendees here in the Zoom chat that they can put their virtual hands up and we can allow you to speak. There's a number of comments, of course, in the Q&A. Perhaps the one from Barbara kind of sums up what people are feeling. She says, "Thank you, Mr. Keshe, for bearing your soul during this difficult times and sharing your burdens with us. I feel many feel your pain and sorrow like I do. We lift up your son's soul and yours in prayer for protection and his safe return. May you find comfort with the love that all of us are giving to you during this difficult um, time. Thank you for the many gifts you bring to humanity. You are truly a blessing. Much love from Canada. That was from Barbara. Um, Josh says in the live stream, life is like a game, and in a game it is impossible to always win, but the truth always wins in the end, and Mr. Keshe is going to win, for he is true to his goal. So it kind of sums it up. There's a number of other people that are expressing their support for you during this time.
Thank you very much. Are there any questions?
Randy asks, how is the FAA going to react to the Keshe flying unit?
What they cannot see, they don't have any certification for. In a way, we become a way to set a new standard, and in a way, FDA, FFA, and whatever F you want to put on top of it does not stop the progress of man. The beauty of the technology is that it can be done by simplest man anywhere in the world, as we've seen with Corona. How many of you have used the cup number 1 and did FDA now knock on the door? You can't do it till we test it. We tell you can drink it. You did it, you saved your life. It's the same with a flight. Now you test it, you fly to where you want to. Those who created these structures were those who wanted to be a structure themselves. We don't need to worry about what it does. It's a natural process, it's a natural system. And if has the strength of us, it will elevate us. And if has the strength below us, we elevate it. And in so many ways, in that process, both ways, we receive fresh and new fields and energies, and with it, new dimensions. Never be afraid of what is behind the wall. And always look. You might learn something. Never be afraid of what's next, because the next could be better than what it is now. And in so many ways, we have to take these steps. We had to bring man above the present knowledge of universe, that the man could be accepted back in the universe as somebody who understands a little bit more. It does not matter where the knowledge comes from. In so many ways, once we are not scared of sharing, nothing can stop man's imagination. And give it a chance to elevate not his own soul, but the soul of the people who are within it. And as I said many times last time, we have to become that point. We have to become the book of knowledge, and with it, we become the stars. And how we'll achieve this, and how we convert this knowledge to essence of our own creation, it has another dimension. As I said many times, the book of life has to be within the book of the soul of the man. And then you will understand. It's all the knowledge is within us, is us who's got to reach out to achieve it, to reach it, to be able to get it, to be enjoyed by not him, but the totality. As I said many times, it's time to raise the horizon of man's thoughts, understanding of his own creation and the soul. And we spent enough time for past 15 years building these units in different ways, showing these units in the Sensano, in Barry, in all over the world. Now we see the final version, the collection from the universe and unicos, partly made by man and partly by knowledge of universe, a collective collaboration. In so many ways, understanding of the technology is to see its beauty. And then if you can, then we can go to the next step. There is no limitation to the knowledge of the universe. It's only man puts that limitation according to his own understanding. Any other question?
There's a question from David who asks, will something unusual happen in our galaxy before March 2021? Is there a twin brother to the sun?
Why should something happen? Man is creating it to happen. Why everything has to come out from outside and now this time come from inside? A beautiful beginning. What the whole universe has been waiting for. So why does it always have to come from outside? Now outside looks inside to the man, to the earth. We always looked out to see what they have. This time they look to see what we bring. The new change, a new beginning, a new understanding of the science and technology and life. Or is it as before, when we took the knowledge and technology to one country and they said, why us? Why this country? I thought, what, you think you don't deserve it? You don't think you should be here? Because you don't have the intellect? As I said, we have built the system. Now is to take it for a test drive. But most of this system has been tested all over the world over years and centuries. It was our tradition in Sensano and other places, if we did something test, we put it live, everybody was watching it. I remember when we did the test on 129, people stayed awake day and night. Somebody writes at the bottom of the chat, it's gone up by 1, it jumped by 5, it jumped by 2. Now this time, maybe we leave the cameras on. You watch. You tell us around the world 24 hours a day if anything happening and what is happening. I watched for hours the system in China, and I watched it when it went out of control. The cameras gone blind. We couldn't see more because the energy was delivered. The beauty of the new design is that everything is introvert, is not extrovert, which means everything will build in and build in. I designed it that way. It's the way the universe works from inside. And this is one of the most advanced universal systems which actually works through the working of the universe from inside, not from outside.
Mr. Keshe, you mentioned the particle and the ray, and Luca in the YouTube has a question regarding the why in the double slit experiment. Double slit experiment is famous science experiment with light. Why in the double slit experiment light behaves as a particle when we observe it, and it behaves like a wave when we are not observing it. And I'm wondering if that relates to
it is to the eye of the beholder.
Mm-hmm.
And it is what we want to understand of it, because it's still we work in so many ways through particles. When we look into the light, we just don't see photon, we receive particles too. And those particles create different emotion in us. Even the darkness has particles in its light. This is what we think, just the light has to be there to be a particle. The light, some of the lights as a photon or as a particle, are in the dimension or in the level of the darkness of the eye of the man, but they are there as particles. Because we absorb the same energies in the night as the day. When you look at the source of light, depending if you carry a photon of it in your eye, you will absorb it towards you. If you carry as a particle of it, the strength, you absorb it to you. That's why we see even the colors different. In the future, I'll explain this. I've done some work on this and I can explain it that you can see it physically. In tomorrow's experiments or experiments we start, we will place a number of, as already there, of what we call lights. At the same time, we put around it some magnets. We see how the magnets flip. If it's going to be in the level of the matter state, or it's going to be in the level of photons, or what we see the difference between the two. And as I said yesterday to one of the knowledge seekers, we'll place many magnets around the system, not to be attracted, but to see when they flip, they change polarity. Because when it's a photon, does not create. When it's particle, it creates polarity because it hits, it delivers massive amount of energy. and we see it. So swinging magnets in a specific way is one of the directions of what we see. See which field moves before that. As I said, we start not testing, but showing the tools of the new science, the means to achieve. I've just been informed tomorrow we have around about 25 people from all over the world joining us. And maybe by that time the system works and they'll be like you, a participant and an observer of what might be and what might come. And in the structure, we all that. And maybe by showing the technology this way, we become the messengers of peace. With the new technology delivery, what man could not imagine now can have. Maybe man gets busy so much with that he forgets about the wars because this is more, it's a new toy we can do more with. As they say, let's play. Any other question?
We have a hand up from Homero. He had a medical question previously, but we can allow him to speak. Hello, Homero. Can you open your microphone? Hello, Homero, you have to open your... Yes, hello?
Está me ouvindo?
Do you speak English?
No.
You need a translator
Spanish.
in Spanish? Or Portuguese? Portuguese?
Português.
Portuguese. Rafael, where are you? Would you like
Hello?
to translate, please?
I see him there now. Just a second. Okay, Raphael, you can talk there.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello, Rafael from
Would you
Brazil.
translate for? Would you translate for us for this gentleman?
Yes, sure, Mr. Keshe. Oi, Romero, pode falar, por favor?
É um imenso prazer estar aqui falando pela segunda vez, pois a primeira vez foi para agradecer a cura do meu filho pelo vírus no Rio de Janeiro.
So first of all, it's a big pleasure to be here talking with all of you. And the first time that I spoke with you was in the Friday Teachers in Portuguese language to say thank you for the cure of my son from COVID-19 through the technology.
You're welcome.
Percebi, então, que era o complemento da lacuna que, ao longo da minha vida, eu buscava respostas. Mecânica quântica, religião, e fiquei impactado como estou até agora e cada vez mais com esse processo.
So I'm very fascinated about this process. This was something that I was searching my whole life, and now this technology brings the totality for me, what I was searching my whole life. Se puder, Romero, colocar a pergunta de forma mais direta e sucinta, só para poder abrir espaço para os outros também, por favor.
Sim, ocorre que eu tenho um nódulo pulmonar, hoje está em 4 centímetros por 2,5, e eu tenho usado de toda busca, através de buscadores de conhecimento, através de uma resposta da minha alma, e eu tenho 4 tipos de GANs com reatores pequenos em casa, que é o copo 1, copo 2, CO2 e ZNO, e eu não consigo ter segurança em nenhum protocolo criado por mim. Eu não tenho essa autonomia. Gostaria de saber se eu não conseguiria um auxílio de orientação para salvar a minha vida, porque eu estou sofrendo diversas aflições de dores.
Okay. So I'm with a tumor in my lungs, and I'm trying. I have all the GANs here. I made all the reactors, but I would like some assistance from maybe a medical doctor for Keshe Foundation to help me. I was searching with knowledge seekers and all of this, but I feel that my life is almost going to an end now because of this tumor, and I would like to have some help on this.
This has to be discussed with the doctors of the Keshe Foundation.
Isso tem que ser discutido com os médicos da Fundação Keshe.
Eu posso falar?
Sim.
Eu já enviei e-mails, né? Já tentei falar com médicos aqui e a resposta foi que não estava havendo tempo aqui no Brasil, né? Médico do Brasil, por causa da demanda do corona. E o e-mail que eu mandei para a Fundação Keshe, eu não recebi resposta. E eu agora...
He's saying that he sent a message from the email of Keshe Foundation, info that foundation, and he was not receiving answer from them since now. So
would ask him to get in touch with you after the teaching, and in the next couple of days we put him in touch with the doctors who will advise him.
Okay. Então, Romero, depois do ensinamento, entre em contato comigo, por favor, que a gente vai colocar você em contato com algum médico para te dar um auxílio, ok?
Perfeito, eu agradeço, muita gratidão, e estamos aqui sempre orando pela vida do Dr. Keshe e de todos os participantes que estão imbuídos nessa busca em direção ao Criador.
Since he's just saying, thank you very much, Mr. Keshe, I will speak with Rafael and just send all the lights and the love for you to keep this work. Thank you very much.
Então, Rafael, posso entrar depois em contato no seu privado?
Sim, por favor, pode entrar.
Obrigado, querido. Obrigado a todos.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Keshe. There's a question from Melissa, who is asking, says, Dear Mr. Keshe, with the new technology, oh, sorry, Homero, I'll mute you there. Melissa says, Dear Mr. Keshe, with the new technology being matured and exposed, how would be the response and reaction of the ET entities who are watching the human Earth's development for a long time? Are you receiving any signals in that regard?
I think, how do you answer this one? Aren't we the ETs? now to them. The structure of the universal community is to be proud of what is achieved and build on. And as you've seen, to share knowledge so freely as you've received in past years. Every race has to reach a point of maturity and total coverage of understanding, and then the interaction with what we call the universal community starts. And in past 10 years, 20 years, we brought man so rapidly to that point. There was no choice, because if we would have left it, it would have gone worse, as we saw in the past. But in a way, it's the right time of intervention. But the knowledge you received is the knowledge beyond the knowledge of those who you call ETs. It's the knowledge of the Creator, which even the ETs are learning from. What I explained just recently, past few minutes, about the structure of the new enhancement user for flight was not even known, was not ever explained even to the Keshe Foundation team which put it together. If you look at it, it's the replication of the spaceship, but with, in a way, inner ship, within its structure built within it. We have created the soul of the system, the soul of the light, which itself, in the interaction of fields, it behaves like a particle, at the same time become the soul of the system. This is a gift I brought with myself when I came in the soul of the twin, and that has been gifted. And that knowledge will come, appear on its own time. In so many ways, this is a gift to not only humanity, but the whole of the creation, to become particle or become light, or what you call a wave or a photon. And in so many ways, when I brought the soul with me, it had to be gifted in a specific way that it shows its beauty. And it will show, and it's shown its beauty. Many of you have seen the soul, but you're not aware of it. Many of you have seen the carrier of the soul, and you're not aware of it. And soon will shine. Then it's beautiful both in the soul and the physicality. The knowledge is not what you see, what they think. The knowledge is that every word was given to the man. Even with all the wrongdoing that the man has done. We share with love and we share with kindness. And in so many ways, from outside, look inside, is what did they do that they deserve this elevation and such a knowledge. So I prefer to be with the humans than with the ETs, because now humans are more advanced than ETs. And that was my wish. With the beauty I was given, I delivered. Any other question?
You have a question from Ed in the Q&A here in the Zoom, who says, in the past, you have described our traveling in the universe as learning to use the magnetic fields of the universe like a sailboat using the winds to arrive at its destination. Today, you describe the enhancement unit as being internally focused rather than outward. Is this a change in the way we will interact with the fields of the universe?
When you structure like this, you pull from all fields of the universe. Where before you had to send that you will receive, you become the center. And who wants to be in that position in respect to the center? It's different structure, it's a different ballgame. And in the same way, you produce fields that makes you to be easier to be where you want to be, not that you look to be ending up where you want to be. It's a big difference. With this technology, you can travel beyond speeds of even man could ever imagine or universe could imagine. You reach very near to the speed of the soul of the Creator. And as I said, we gifted that soul to one, and you shall see. A new generation cycle will start with the same knowledge as the gifted soul. Time. We just need time. A few more moments. And in the course of coming time, we'll teach more. Today's teaching is evolution again in the world of science of the universe. I have to complete this within next 20 odd days of human race. I have a boat to catch. Any other question?
Sylvain asks in the Q&A, Mr. Keshe, in the balance between the soul of man and the soul of physicality, can we somehow see what some call also the rule of 3, 6, and 9? And in that position, 9 being as the access to the universe, to a new cycle, a new creation. And then they go on to say, is the knowledge of numbers important for the construction of the totality, also for the different parts of the totality? Or is it only through love, comprehension, and feeling of the fields? Are numbers in a way only an illusion of our reality in the matter state? Thank you so much, Mr. Keshe.
Numbers are collective of what we see of how many. It depends what we attach to it and how we expect it to be, and then we set our mind to be what we expect, what we set out. Even in the health centers, we measure different ways, but it doesn't go by numbers, but it goes by their strength. If you go to one of the patterns, in so many ways, the structure of this spacecraft was explained. Actually, the full detail of this craft has been explained in the patent. But as they said, you have to read it to unravel it. You have to understand it to unravel it. You have to feel the essence of the knowledge, not what is written. Numbers don't count. What interaction of the fields create by interaction of numbers counts. What do you expect to get from it? Any other question?
Alex wants to know if have you been successful in contacting Sharon Stone?
No, she's elusive. It was somebody I would have loved to see her when I was young, but now I would love to be able to help her if she hasn't lost her sister yet.
Some people are interested in locating your son and would like to have the name and date of birth that would help to locate him.
It's in the hand of the police. The police authorities are fully aware of it, and she has lied to the police. So leave it. We'll find. We'll know. We know a lot. We try to keep it out, but you have to understand you're dealing with professionals. These people work on a pre-plan and show to be normal. We have every knowledge to know, but is on the other hand, is 40 million euro ransom for a child is nothing. But when the mother does it, shows client what we call the inclination and destination and what they want to do. Don't forget, she's working with a pedophile. That's my biggest fear. The man she's got herself involved in is well known. That's my biggest fear. We'll sort it out. Sooner or later, we'll sort it out. But that's the destiny we have to see. But we are there to learn from it. The only thing we can do is pray for her soul. That's all. This is one thing the pros never learn. They can take part of physicality of the man, but they cannot take a soul of it. And we can elevate it. Any other question?
There was a question or comment here from Lissy, who I think it's from one of the knowledge seekers. Thanks for your love. I am happy. In the workshop of the previous Thursday, one man asked for help in a chat for the corona problem. My English is not my primary language. He lives in Turkey. I helped him. He was nervous. He had a cup 1 with him. On the Wikipedia, he got lost. And just to help him and reassure him and send the exact protocol of the doctor's report in July. I followed up in 1 or 2 days his process. He was feeling better. About 5 hours before, he sent me very happy a negative test. Space and language are only references. Several of the people we help are close and many do not return for a test.
We had many of the knowledge, we had one of our well-known knowledge seekers tested positive a few weeks ago. And the knowledge seekers helped him and he became negative. And we've seen this to be done when it's something which happens. We deplete the energy of the virus. And it's nice to see we make the difference.
There seems to be more reports of people being able to transfer that emotional energy through the directly, let's say, sometimes through a Zoom chat or other sort of direct way, but without the actual substances. In other words, not giving someone the actual substances, but transferring that emotional energy for a healing condition. And that's very interesting. When yesterday, was it yesterday in the plasma group, we had a
You lost the time as well.
Pardon me?
I said you lost the time as well. Yesterday, yeah, but yesterday.
Well, yeah, I forget sometimes whether it's yesterday in your time or my time because the days sort of overlap, let's say. But Jalal had, and we did an interesting experiment where Jalal was showing us live in the actual exhibition hall, showing us the different ganses and so on. And Dean was there as well from England. And at one point,
send a reporter to you from the center.
Yeah, it was terrific.
We had your spies in our place, I know.
Yeah, I told him he was undercover spy for us, so he denied it, of course.
He said he didn't say any pictures.
Oh, well, no pictures of the insides of the units and
yeah, he's been sneaking
kind of
around, taking pictures and everything.
Yeah, so he said, he was under directions not to show us certain things, so it was very much undercover, but he denied it, of course, in a good undercover way. And so my point was that at one point, Jalal held his hand up to the camera, and so I could see his hand on my screen, and it was about the same size as my hand. So what I did was I put my hand on the screen of my computer, and it overlapped with the hand that I saw from his side, as if our hands were connected hand to hand. And I could feel the connection. It was like, and he was, touching different ganses or putting his hand over, as in feeling the fields. And the idea was for me to feel that energy coming through and do something with that. And
is that the PM CET job?
Yes, that's actually one of the phrases that we were discussing at that time. But it's very interesting that transfer of energy or emotion can be done without being in the physical presence. Of course, we know that, but it's interesting to you're kind of working with both. It's not the physical presence. You see this image of what appears to be, I see the image of what appears to be Jalal, but as far as I know, it's a computer animation or something. All I see is the, two-dimensional screen. and it's not actually him, but yet it is him when I feel his soul, his essence connection. And so there's a sort of an overlapping of different dimensions there. But I think that's very interesting, this idea of remote feeling or remote interaction.
We should be able to do that with our soul. That's the new accessibility we have. We have to learn it, and we can do it. And I think once we start using these enhancement units and we gain more and more trust, we come to understand about ourselves, about our capabilities, our new friend within us. And that's what is important. Any other question?
We have a couple of hands up here from R. Thomas. If you'd like to go ahead first, and then we have Dean.
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Keshe. Just about yesterday, when Jalal was sort of holding his hands over the different Ganses, I just tried to sort of close my eyes and focus on the exhibition hall. And I saw this wonderful hall in front of me. And suddenly, sort of, I had like, how shall I say in English, a sort of crippling all around my head. But it really touched my head. And I had the feeling that this was the transfer, the beaming up, Scotty, from Jalal.
In so many ways, we shouldn't let Jalal anywhere anymore. But we can't stop him. He's there. But he's such a pure soul. It's understanding the knowledge when it touches your soul. Then you don't need to go through electric whatever or communication line. You just need point of reference for you to be physically confirmed that you received it.
Yeah, it was a beautiful feeling. It was sort of, this sort of like, I don't know if you understand this word, crippling. It's sort of.
Yeah, I understand. You see, we left 2 children playing in the field of the exhibition center, and I heard what you say. And so both of them have been, learning and experimenting. And in so many ways, we need to more develop our own sense of trust to ourselves. That you don't need a screen, but if you ask, it'll be there to take.
Yeah, it was sort of this feeling, my wish is my command. I once had a dream where I was on the shore of a lake or a river, and there was like a rotten fish. But in some way I had the feeling he still had just one little drop. He sort of was not taking in order not to take sort of the last breath. And my wish was just water. And then I saw this fish was starting to close up, and it became a wonderful rainbow trout, and was living and went into the water. And that was years and years and years ago. And this dream came sort of back to me when you once mentioned my wish is my command. And sort of I had it years ago, and I sort of tried this with Jalal, just wishing to be there, and but I hope I didn't just take and didn't give anything, because I was so surprised that it worked.
Thank you very much. Next time we have to keep Jalal and away from these things. I didn't know they're in the lab. I arrived in the afternoon, and I heard some whispers, but I didn't know. You see, we have opened a space that any knowledge seeker can come and learn. It's the beauty of it. We got a very big problem at the moment. Do you mind closing your microphone, please? The big problem we have now, we can't get our staff back into the lab to carry on with the further research. They're enjoying it so much on the floor that we can't get him back, because we're just going to spend more time there. But on the other hand, to get the stuff back in is very hard, because it's the beauty of sharing knowledge. It becomes so powerful when you're on that floor, and the compulsion to share knowledge so fresh. And I think when you stand in the auditorium or what, on the floor, the pleasure comes when you see in the face of the people how they enjoy learning something new, something different. And it's amazing how people have taken into learning more. And in so many ways, it's an open operational lab, but open to public. It's not a museum, but it's the point of sharing and seeing the joy in the face of people that what new has brought them.
Well, they were definitely like a couple of children, exactly like you described in the exhibition hall there when they showed their faces.
Oh, you saw their faces?
Oh yes, they showed the video of them live, and we were taken around to some of the different exhibits and so on, but not the actual enhancement units, but the GANs display and so on. So
yeah, Jalal has come in with a funny structure, a funny game. He's brought with him, you seen these tiny little bottles? They have a small one shot in it. He says to me, I brought my bottles, I want to take some of your gases in my bottles. We got about, I think, 24 of them or 20 of them. He wants to take some. I don't know what he's going to do with the content. It's no good to us. But he wants to fill the rest with the gases from the exhibition center. But I don't know, are we going to be left any if people want to do this? In so many ways, we see how it comes and how we will do.
One drop. Just give him one drop from each.
You think he'll be content?
He should be. It's the new teaching. Tell him one drop.
One drop, yeah. We'll see.
One of the there actually was a trio there with Gunther as well, and Jalal and Dean, and one of the three musketeers has got his hand up here. Dean, perhaps we can hear from him and see what he has to say.
Who was the third one?
Well, there was Jalal and Gunther and Dean.
Oh God. Yep. Okay. No problem. I didn't know about the third one.
You guys. Sorry, guys. You cannot hold a secret.
You're too close to each other.
Yeah. You cannot hold a secret, you, Mr. Keshe or Rick. My God.
Why?
Yeah, okay. Rick exposed our spying thing for you, and you also explain how I gonna change the ganses. My God.
I hope the
should know by
customs will
now.
let you get through with it.
You should know by now everything is transparent.
Now I am banned from coming to the exhibition. My God. But it's worth it now.
That's how you were banned today. That was the excuse. It was the exam.
Exactly. But it's worth it, Mr. Keshe. It's worth it. Every single effort to that. I am very joyful to being here, and I am really very joyful to give out all this, beauty of being there. Oh, this was a dream, and I'm sharing my dream with all of you guys. So, thank you, really, thank you, Mr. Keshe. But please,
You're
let me
welcome.
come in again.
we are open tomorrow, and tomorrow there's a group of. Let me explain something in the background. Tomorrow we have visitors who collectively, a large number of them, have put some funds to buy enhancement unit, and we invited them collectively to come and see. It's a busload of them. And this is how different groups have collected funds to be able to finance the enhancement for their community. And whatever they could put together, the foundation has supported the rest to see it happening for the community. And so they're coming in tomorrow to see it, a busload of them. And this is what we brought the technology in. This is what I said to Klaus, because whatever it is, we have to find a way and a solution with these people, because they put their trust in the knowledge and the technology, and they put their efforts in it. We can't fail. We sat down with them for some time, past few days, and we found a solution for them, or a solution that it can work for everybody. And so they're coming tomorrow. This is the way the foundation is working in the background to get this knowledge spread. And it's amazing how it's getting spread and how people are getting to know it. And this is without anyone knowing. We have a full 100% press lockdown. And this technology has to come out this way, from the people, through the people, by the people. And tomorrow you'll have a wonderful day in there, because I'm not there, but there's a lot of people who will be there. And hopefully we all learn from each other in a better way. But as I said, tomorrow we start loading, and not loading, we'll start testing. And every day will be part of this test, because as I said, the systems have a certification. It can be tested in public, because these are what's going to be in the halls and the places you're going to go to. Different measures, different structure. But I wonder what these 2 or 3 spies are going to report tomorrow. We'll see. Thank you very much, Jalal, for taking such a trip, and the same with the gentleman from the Iranian gentleman from London. The same for others who are there to work and support. Any other questions? Shall we call it a day?
The thanks for you, Mr. Keshe. As always.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
There's always questions. There's one more perhaps. How do we create our own honey GANs? Jalal was showing the honey GANs, or maybe it was Dean actually, was showing the honey GANs at the display.
Honey GANs is very difficult. If you ask our guys, this is very difficult, but he's got tons of it. We got many GANs which are not in public, and they'll never come into public. It's for part of the research we develop. And we strive to produce gases which can be vital to life, and honey is one of them.
Mr. Keshe, hi, it's Dean from the UK here. Speaking about the honey gants, that for me it had very special properties. As soon as I came in contact with it, like Jalal, feeling it through my hands, I felt some very special fields for me personally. It just sort of it resonates with me on a personal level. I'd also like to just say that the experience of being in the exhibition is quite incredible. Meeting all the knowledge seekers and the love and care that you all give, and particularly yourself, Mr. Keshe, it's overwhelming. It's such a wonderful experience. Interacting with the knowledge seekers and like Jalal, I'm actually sat in a hotel room with Jalal now. We're listening to it on the screen and listening to all your beautiful teachings and everything. It's incredible. The knowledge that Jalal has and that he shared with me, it's enhanced my soul greatly. And the teachings of today have been extraordinary. And I'd like to thank you, Mr. Keshe, deeply for all of us for everything you've been doing for us. Thank you so much.
Very much.
Okay, one last question, Mr. Keshe, from James on the YouTube. Says, a long time ago was mentioned a personal flying belt. When is this going to be released?
My favorite word, time. And he goes, ding, yes, it's time.
That must mean that the bell is up, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you very much for today's show, Mr. Keshe, once again.
Thank you very much indeed. We are still within our time zone. And I would like to thank all of you. And hopefully, now that we have built the system, we can collectively enjoy it and be able to share the knowledge, as you say, hands-on. You never know what might happen in the time, in the what we call testing and in developing. But there's one thing for sure, man has entered a new dimension in science and technology and the knowledge of universe. And I thank those who came to our life to bring us pleasure and joy. And as we say, we build life on love and kindness, as we said, and let's see where we go. And just keep an eye on your Zoom chat on the knowledge seekers, because you never know when it'll be switched on and you never know what you might see. It's a surprise what you see sometimes. As I was explaining to one of the knowledge seekers recently, I was watching when the system emptied all its energy outside in China. And later on, when we looked at the balls, they were white instead of orange. We knew how much energy we have delivered. But this time, the systems are made in a specific way to change a lot of things in the process of operation. And we have brought a specific way to this, and in so many ways, the system, which is the body enhancement unit, is ready to fly, is waiting for its captain. And does not need necessarily flying in the physical dimension, but opening the soul of the man to understand the totality of the knowledge as the positions he accepted. So you might get enlightened without knowing anything in the coming time, but you know where it comes from. It's an interesting time. It's a very interesting time coming up. We are back to normal time at 9 o'clock next Thursday. But in between, be ready for maybe if something happens for some surprises. But it doesn't mean we stay on all the time. Thank you very much, Rick. And I really want to thank Klaus, Herbert, and the whole of the Keshe team, especially Ashwan is there behind the scene. Ella and Stanley and everybody else who've been there trying to get this thing to where it is now. Then in a way, we have achieved and we're achieving what we came here for. Thank you very much.
Very good. Thank you once again, Mr. Keshe, for yet another Knowledge Seekers Workshop, 347 of them so far. Thank you everyone for attending today's 347th Knowledge Seekers Workshop for Thursday, September 24th, 2020. And as Mr. Keshe mentioned, we'll be back at 9 a.m. Central European Time for next week's workshop rather than the 2 p.m. so far as we know. And also that there may be a broadcast happening tomorrow. Just stay tuned to the same address as far as the public teaching Zoom room. It's the same number and the same link for all of the public Keshe Foundation broadcasts. What else do we have? We have the One Nation, One Planet, One Race for World Peace coming up on Tuesday, as usual there. And of course, the private teachings that are also going on for the private students. Okay, I think that's it. And we'll wrap up with some videos from the Keshe Foundation store. Thank you, everyone. And especially thank you to Mr. Keshe. And bye for now.
Hello. We are the Keshe Foundation. Our mission is to bring peace on earth and join humanity with the universal community. We wish and work to bring man as equal to all beings in the universe. By teaching plasma science and technology equally to everyone, no one is left out and no one is abused due to lack of knowledge. By donating to us, you can help achieve this goal. KesheFoundation.org/donate.